My name is Jennifer Maker and I am here today with a Cricut Mug Press. I got it in advance so I could show you all about it. Thank you, Cricut, for sending it to me. I'm super excited to show you what this looks like. We're going to dive into it, do a project together, and I am going to try to answer all of your questions. And this is being recorded live on Thursday, March 4th, my mom's birthday, at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. If you're seeing this after that, that means it's not live, but we always answer questions. So always feel free to leave a question in the chat, even if I'm not doing this live, but it is live right now and I'm super excited to do this. Okay, so before I sit down and we get to work on this, I want to play a really short 3-minute video that I made that goes over what the Cricut Mug Press is, and so that you can see like an overview, and then we will sit down and I'll bring it out and show it to you. Okay, sound good? And thank you in advance to my team. They're here in all of the various streaming chats to help you out. So feel free to ask questions because they're here to help as well. All right, let's get started. Hi everyone, my name is Jennifer Maker and I am so excited to be among the first to show you the Cricut Mug Press, just released by the world-renowned creator of the Cricut Maker cutting machine, my favorite craft tool ever. The Cricut Mug Press is a breakthrough tool that gives us professional level customized mugs in minutes. No more trying to understand those bulky, ugly, and unsafe mug presses or guess at the right pressure or temperature settings. The Cricut Mug Press makes mugs with just one touch, just like this. And it takes the temperature of your mug and your room and determines the right settings for you. It fits 11 to 16 ounce mugs with no manual adjustments necessary. Plus it has an advanced heating plate with patented zone heating, so the bottom edge of your mug looks as good as the top edge of your mug. It is so cool. Most importantly, it is crazy easy to use. This is the first mug that I made with a traditional mug press. An utter fail because I didn't press it long enough because I didn't know I had to. Totally my fault, I know. But this is the first mug I made with the Cricut Mug Press. It came out flawless. In fact, every mug that I have made with the Cricut Mug Press has been perfect so far. These are all of my mugs. They're so pretty. So how does the Cricut Mug Press work? It is super, super easy. First, you cut out a design with infusible ink. You wrap your design around your mug. You place the design in the Cricut Mug Press, just like this. You press down on the handle. The mug press takes it from there, setting the temperature and pressure automatically. 5 or 6 minutes later, the Cricut Mug Press beeps and you can take your mug out by the handle because it's still cool to the touch. After it has cooled for 15 to 30 minutes, you can unwrap your mug to see the amazing and vibrant color it creates. Just look at how gorgeous this is. I am so in love with this. The Cricut Mug Press features a safe design. The plastic housing stays cool to the touch, still cool. The handle keeps your fingers away from the heat source, which is very important. And the auto shut-off provides peace of mind. I am so happy about how easy this is to use. As crafters, the Cricut Mug Press is going to help us make so many customized mugs and have them come out as good as, if not better, than what you can find in the stores. And just think of all the gifts that we're going to make for our friends and family, even at the last minute. You can make everything from cute animals and inspirational quote mugs to monograms and colorful mandala mugs. This is truly a game changer and it really lets us make thoughtful, personal gifts for a wide range of people. I mean, come on, everyone loves a mug, right? Learn more about the Cricut Mug Press and get dozens of free personalizable designs at jennifermaker.com/Cricut Mug Press. I can't wait to see what you make. Wasn't that cool? All right, let me put my little thing back at the top so everyone knows what we're doing. So here is the Cricut Mug Press, and I thought it would be really fun to just sit down and talk to you about what it is, how it works. We can do a project together, and you can send me your questions. My team is watching all of our chats, and they're going to pass questions to me so that we can do it in a semi-organized fashion. And I am super excited to show you how this works because it's really pretty awesome. Okay, so first of all, the first thing most people will notice, the first thing I noticed is the way it looks because I can't help it. I love the way it looks. It is nothing like a traditional mug press. And if you have one and you love it, that's awesome. I love this. And I am not ashamed to say that at all. I love this. All right, so we've done the overview. So what I want to do is I'm going to have my team pass me questions as soon as you start getting them, so that I know what questions you have and can make sure that this playtest is like to your interest, all right? And then while we're doing that, I am going to go over to Cricut Design Space. I'm going to show you one of my designs. I have dozens of designs that I have been creating these last few weeks since Cricut so graciously sent me one of these. I'm so grateful for that. And we're going to be introducing them over the next week. The Cricut, and first of all, the Cricut Mug Press just announced today, but doesn't actually become available for sale until March 11th, right? So between now, March 4th and March 11th, we'll be talking all about the Cricut Mug Press and the various ways that you can use it. So I'll be doing lots of tutorials. And the idea, my goal is that by March 11th, for those of you who decided you want one, you're going to be able to hit the ground running, get it out of the box, and make your first mug within like that first half hour. Okay, that's totally my goal. In fact, I have a tutorial video that's going to come online probably right after our live test today that actually goes in depth on how to unbox it, how to set it up, where you should put it, all of the ins and outs that probably I won't do such a good job of explaining right now. The little things, right? And then I will show you how to do cool things in Design Space and where to find templates and all of that fun stuff. Okay. So watch for that on YouTube and Facebook later today. All right, so let's see. I have questions. Okay. All right. Annalyn says, does the mug need to be rounded only, or can we use other shapes too? First, I assume you don't mean square. I think you mean straight-sided, right? Let me actually switch over to my close-up view, which is, I got to remember, this is the one. This is it. Okay. So yes. So this, it needs to be like this. It needs to be straight-sided like this. And it should not be tapered, like come in at the bottom or be like chunky, you know, like rounded. You want it to be straight-sided because when you put it into the mug press, you'll note that, in fact, I'll just show it to you. You see it's got a cylindrical heat plate. By the way, that down there is also like the zone heating. This is not something I've ever seen in any mug press before. So it's so cool because it's also hitting the bottom of your mug, and I'll explain why I think that's a big deal. Anyway, so it goes into it just like this. So it needs to be straight, and because if it's not going to get heated consistently, right? So that is why that's a big deal. And then of course we close it, right? Super easy. All right, so yes, it needs to have straight walls. Okay, Amanda says, do the cups need to be sublimation blanks, or can you use a regular cup? They need to be Cricut mugs or sublimation blank mugs. So like Cricut is bringing out, will have on March 11th, mugs in, I gotta make sure I get my sizes right, 12 ounce and 15 ounce sizes. The mug press actually accommodates 11 to 16 ounce size mugs, but their two sizes are 12 and 15. And it can't be a dollar store mug. That will not work. So the reason is because all a dollar store mug is ceramic and probably a glaze coating of some kind. There is nothing for the infusible ink or sublimation to hold on to. It needs to be poly coated, which these mugs are, and for the ink to actually seep in and stay. You might want to think of it like the difference if you're familiar with infusible ink. So you can't put infusible ink on a cotton shirt without having some kind of coating or doing something weird, because there's nothing for the ink to actually latch onto. It needs to be a polyester blend or a polyester shirt. So the same thing is true of our mugs. They need to be poly coated. So they can be Cricut mugs or they can be sublimation mugs. So yeah. This is, by the way, is my very first mug that you saw in my video. Very first one. It's so pretty. Okay. All right. So let me switch over to Design Space, and I want to get this project going because while it's pressing, because I'm going to do this live for you so you can see all of the successes and failures, as always, I'll keep answering questions. So let me real quick go over to Cricut Design Space, because I started doing something and I know I need to, okay. In fact, let me slide that down. All right, actually I'll just show you what I did here. All right, so Cricut Design Space, make sure I got the right button. There we go, it worked. Okay, so here we are in Cricut Design Space, and here is a mug blank that I have designed that we're gonna cut today. And I'm happy to explain how I did this, but this is explained in my tutorial later. So if you want to really know right now, because you want to answer me to answer questions, I totally can. But basically, what I've done is I've created these really cool fancy edge designs. This is the flower edged one. I also have, in fact, I'll show you real quick because that is really cool. So I have a butterfly one. This is the one that you saw in the video that I played. And I have a star one. I made this one for Alexa. And I have a heart and I have a filigree. Where's my filigree? Oh, it's up here. Hang on just a second. I'll get it down. Here is my filigree one. Isn't that pretty? So there are 6 different styles and they're free for you to use. And we're going to do one that I haven't tried yet, which is my flower one. So that I'm hoping to make a complete set of all of my designs. Alrighty, so let's go back to the Cricut Design Space. So here is the template, and this is what it looks like aside from the personalization. I personalized this morning. So I will show you what it would look like. So it'd be blank like this when you upload it. And what's really cool about the designs that I've made is that, see this black line here? This is actually a double cut line. So it's designed so that it cuts out your template from your liner on your mat, but then cuts only the infusible ink on top of it to make it super easy to wrap. And then you can customize the center with whatever you want. That is the cool thing about using the Cricut Mug Press and Cricut and your cutting machine to make something really amazing. All right, so what I have done, I'm going to show you, talk about the materials that you use, how we cut it, how we weed it, how we apply it, and then we will actually press one. So in fact, let me switch over to my overhead. There we go. And then you can see a little better what we're doing. Okay, I'll set this here for now. Alrighty, so infusible ink. Oh, I made so many mugs. I made so many mugs. Let's move these all over here. Okay, so it uses infusible ink. And here I have one of the mug press sized ones. So they're coming out with transfer sheets that are sized just for the mugs, so that if you don't want to cut the giant sheets, you don't have to. But you totally can cut the big sheets. So that's not an issue. So you can use either size that you want. You can also, of course, use pens and markers like this. So in fact, it's kind of a mess there, sorry. I will have a tutorial on using the mugs and the pens and the markers in 2 different ways. One using the machine and one using freehand. It's really cool. And I'll show you what those mugs look like in a little bit. Okay, so the color I'm going to use today is green watercolor. And let me show you what it looks like. If you've never seen infusible ink, it looks like a piece of paper. By the way, it's so much easier to open these from the bottom of the box. Has anyone else noticed that? Yeah, little tip there for you. All right, so I've actually already pulled one of the sheets off. They come with 2 sheets in them. So here is a sheet of infusible ink, and it's got this pretty, you see that? It's got this pretty, oh, there we go, like watercolor effect to it. I tend to prefer the solid ones because I'm so in love with how well the Cricut Mug Press transfers the solids. It's so vibrant, but hey, we should try these too. It'll be fun. Okay, so I've got my paper, and again, we can use the big sheets if we want. We don't have to use the small sheets. The one thing that is different about the small sheets, besides of course the fact that they're sized perfectly to fit on the mugs, is that there's no grid on the back. So there's nothing, it's just a piece of infusible ink. That's the big difference. Okay, I'm going to move this aside. I love how small it is. It is so easy to move around. That is not something I can do with that big black mug press I have. Okay, and then we'll put this here too. Okay, so we need a mat. Here is our mat. I recommend the green standard grit mat when you do infusible ink. All right, so we just place it at the top of our mat, just like this. smooth it down. I always recommend that you wash your hands right before you touch infusible ink, which I did, just because you can transfer dirt and oil to it. Though honestly, I've never actually had a problem on those occasions where I was lazy and didn't do it. So it's not actually too bad, I don't think. All right, so let me switch to my other view, my close-up view. All right, so many mugs. All right, so, and then we're just going to put it into our Cricut and get ready to cut. So maybe wait. Let's go back to Cricut Design Space. And let me show you the settings that I'm using to do this. So we're going to hide this one. Go back to this one, which is personalized. So to do this, I just typed, "I love you, Mom," and I put a flower on it. Let me actually show you that real quick. So many people struggle with slice that I feel like this is a good thing for me to show you. And I can do it very quickly. Oops, I'm on this wrong screen as usual. I think I'm not, is it not moving? I don't know why it's not moving. I'm on the right screen. Oh well, whatever. I'll move my thing here. Oops. I think I just have too much here. Hang on a second. Okay, so here's this one, and here's this one. Let's hide my mom's one, which is this one. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to click on text. So this is how it uploads. Now, all of my templates will upload with the 12-ounce size on top and the 15-ounce size on the bottom. So you want to be sure to use the right one. This is actually a 15-ounce, but that's okay. It's okay for testing. So we click on text over on the left. We type in whatever we want to type in. Today is my mother's birthday. So I'm going to type "Happy Birthday, Mom," even though that's not what I'm going to actually use. But today is her birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. I don't know if you're listening, but if you are, I love you. Okay, so, and I'm sure she would love to have one of these mugs. My mom is a huge Cricut fan. All right, and let's reduce the size. And just reduce it here too. So let's bring that in a little bit more and position it. So that looks good. By the way, the font I use is called Tingler Script. I love this font for infusible ink because I can bring the letters in close so they overlap, and then I can weed it, which I will in a minute, and it's all connected so it makes it very easy to weed. All right, so there's my message, whatever I want to put. That's what I love about doing this. And then I'm going to put a flower in. So I'm going to click on images, and I'm going to search on flower, and I'm going to use a free flower. So I'm going to go to ownership right here and choose free, and that one looks good. We'll just insert that one and resize it and put it right here. Okay, so this is basically the design I want. So let's move this aside for now. Let's curve the "Happy Birthday, Mom." So I'm going to click on curve. I've selected my text. I'm going to click on curve, and then I'm just going to slide it over like this. I love curve. And now I'm going to weld this together so that everything is touching. That's important. I want everything to be solid, one layer. So I'm going to weld that layer. And then I'm going to select the layer that I welded and my design layer. So I've now got 2 layers and no more than 2 selected. And I'm going to click slice. And now I have "Happy Birthday, Mom," and I can get rid of these extra little slice things back here. And I'm going to do the same thing with my flower. I'm going to bring that to the front by going to the Arrange menu, move to front, make sure that looks centered, that looks good. Select both the flower and my design, so just these 2 layers are selected, and then click slice. My screen is small, so there we go. And then I can move it away and get rid of the extra slices that came out, and there is my awesome design. 1 layer right here, ignore this one, that's our test one from before. 1 layer ready to go and go onto our mug. So super cool. This is a really fast way to customize a mug for someone and have it be thoughtful and personal. Okay, but I would actually want to do this one because I want my mom to know how much I love her. All right, so this is the design I'm going to do. So when we're ready, and note that we'll get rid of this one completely. So we have just 1 layer here because we only need to have 1 layer for this project. I'm going to click Make It, and it is going to go to our prepare screen. We always mirror infusible ink, so we want to click over here on the toggle and make sure it's toggled on and we see our letters mirrored. Now if you're not doing any letters and your design is, it doesn't matter, then you don't have to, right? It only really matters if there's text or you care about the placement of your things. And then we click on continue. And we're going to cut this on my Air, my Cricut Explore Air. You can, of course, cut it on the Cricut Maker or the Cricut Joy. Okay, so that doesn't matter. I'm going to click Browse All Materials, and I'm going to cut this onto an infusible ink sheet. So it's right here. Now, I want to note that I have changed my settings on my infusible ink. I want to show you what I did because I increased the pressure so it would cut perfect every time. So I clicked on Material Settings, and so I recommend you do the same thing and go to Infusible Ink. If you've ever had struggled with cutting infusible ink, this probably will make your day. Where is my infusible ink? There it is, right here. So I click on Edit. Now, normally I think it's a lot lower, and I honestly cannot remember what it is at by default. I increased mine to 268. Try it. I think that you will be happily surprised at how well it works, okay? But I've already set mine, so we can just do done. That's fine. We didn't change anything. Okay, so I'm going to go select Infusible Ink. Here it is. Done. And I always select more because it's a habit. So I always make it so I can do that. Alrighty, so I think that we are now ready to cut it. And I'm not going to make you wait the time that it cuts. It doesn't really take that long. Instead, cut one in advance for you so that we can just speed right along here. So let me move my keyboard and my mouse and show you, because I want to show you how cool this is. So here's the one that I cut earlier. Let's switch to my overhead view. Alrighty, and make some space here. Alright, so it's already cut. You can see, kind of see there in the light. It's all cut, and the way that I designed this is that you can just flip it over onto your surface and peel your mat away from your material, which is what I always recommend, right? But I made it so that it'll cut through your liner like this. Cuts through your liner, but doesn't cut through the infusible ink itself, like the design, right? So the design is still on the liner, but the liner is now off the mat. And this makes it super easy to make a mug, okay? The Cricut Mug, their templates do the same thing. So this was their idea. I just stole it from them. So when you use one of their templates, which you will see in my tutorial video later, you'll be able to do the same thing. All right, so here is our design. Now, I think many of you who know me know that I don't like weeding at all. I do not like weeding at all. So I design my things to be easy to weed. And let me do a zoom so you can see this better. There we go. So here's our design, and we need to weed this. So whenever we weed infusible ink, we always do what they call the crack and peel method. So you gently roll it like this so that pieces sort of start to lift on you, right? So you want to do this all throughout your design. We're not actually bending, like creasing anything. We're just like, we are bending, so, but we're not creasing. That's what I meant to say. So, but we just do it like up and down and backwards and forwards, and it helps to like break the cuts a little bit more, because infusible ink is different than both paper and vinyl. And this is the method that I have found works the best. All right, so there we have our design weeded, or sorry, cracked and peeled. All right, so what I do, I'm gonna hold this so you can see that better. There we go. All right, so I like to just start right here where it lifts right up, so easy, and I can just pull it away just like this. You see that? And one of them flipped off, which is fine. That happens. There we go. So for anyone out there who has ever struggled with weeding or infusible ink, I love the way that this is. Okay, let's do the other side as well. Now, of course, you can use a weeding tool, but really, it's just not necessary. This is just so much easier. It literally just peels up just like this. All right? Okay, so, of course, the inside is a little different, but not as much as you might think. So we just need to pull up on each of the little letters, and because they're all connected, right, we can just take them right off of our design. So hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing here. I'll see if I can hold it up a little bit more. So this is the word mom. Oops, that's the word mom. Isn't that easy? Super easy. Okay, so our next word is, I think it's I love you, or it's you, because I'm going backwards right now. And again, I'm using a script font that is also a stencil font, and it's called Tingler, and it makes it so easy to do this. Like seriously, there's love. Like really, when it's this easy, I actually do like weeding. And then the flower, super easy. And it just peels right up, just like that. So now we have I love you, mom. Make sure you take your scraps and get them out of your way, out of your work surface, so that you don't get them onto your project. Okay, so now you want to do two important things. You want to look at your project and make sure that you haven't missed anything, like, you know, dots or commas or whatever, and fix it if you didn't. And then you want to flip it over, especially if it's a mirrored design, and look at it the way that it's going to appear on your mug, because this is usually where you'll notice the mistakes, right? So the things that you forgot to do or whatever, or that you forgot to mirror in the first place, because we all know that happens. All right, so this looks awesome. I don't think I've made any mistakes, which is great. Okay, so yay. All right, so now we need a mug. Let me switch over to this view and let's talk about the mugs. I'm gonna need your help, Greg. Wait, maybe not. They're right here. I got mugs. All right, so Cricut, as I said, it has mugs. I think they're really reasonably priced. Gosh, can I remember the prices right now? They're all in my blog post. I have a whole guide. Let's see if I can bring this up for you. Here it is. So at jennifermaker.com/Cricut Mug Press, the prices are in there. So if I get it wrong, that's the right source, not me. All right, so anyways, they have the 12 ounces and the 15 ounces. The 12 ounces, I think, are $6.99 for a set of two, I think. And the 15 ounces are $8.99 for a set of two, I believe. But remember, if you're a Cricut Access member, you get discounts, okay? I know many of you are. So, and this is if you're not, it would be a great time to do it, because you would save more right now if you got Cricut Access then, and you then used your Cricut Access discount to get your stuff, you would totally save money. So here they are. I'm gonna move my window. There we go. The mugs, in fact, let's switch over to this view. So the 12 ounces just come packaged here. There's like bubble wrap in here. The 15 ounces actually come in boxes. So that means that these smaller ones don't have boxes, and that means that we're making box templates for you. So those will be coming next week so that you can make super cute boxes to go with your coffee mugs. And hopefully some of them will be matching your mugs as well. All right, so here's a mug. And this is a poly-coated mug. And Cricut has vetted this mug to work with their Cricut Mug Press. That said, other blanks work as well, so you don't have to use theirs if you don't want to. The cool thing about their mugs, however, is that you don't have to buy 24 or 36 or whatever, 100 of them. If you will go into Amazon right now and look for Sublimation mugs, you will discover plenty, if they're not sold out, because people rush to buy them. You will discover plenty of them. They actually look really similar to this. But you have to buy them in like packs of 24 or 36, which if you like is awesome, but if you just want to make a few, that's a bummer. Or you have to pay an arm and a leg to shoot if you would just want a few. So that's one of the cool things. I'm not aware of anyone that sells sublimation mugs like in a craft store, or, you know, like I don't think you can buy them at Michael's or Hobby Lobby or anything like that. So if you're into sublimation, that's actually a cool thing, because now you'll be able to get the Cricut mugs there, at least starting on March 11th. So I always think that's cool. I like to buy my stuff at stores because I'm impatient and don't like to wait. All right, so we have our mug, and I'm going to show you how to apply it, but let's get out the Cricut Mug Press and have it start heating up, okay? So, give me just a second to like rearrange. My space here is a little bit tight. We've cut this out. Oops. It's going to start for me. I don't want it to do that. There we go. We have cut out a project, so I'm going to close this up. There we go. Okay. So the Cricut Mug Press needs to be set up first. My tutorial after this one, that is like a 30-minute long tutorial. Hopefully that's not too long for you, but it goes into all the details. I show you exactly how to set it up, where to plug it in, all that good stuff. If you don't have a computer or laptop, like a desktop or laptop computer, which is what you need to set it up, just borrow a friend or family's. After that, once it's set up, you don't need to have a computer. Okay, so if you like to work on your iPad or your Android device, you totally can to design your mugs. You just need to set it up once on Cricut. Okay, so here is our mug press. And, oh, yes, right. So I'm putting out my Cricut Easy Press pressing mat, because you want to put your Cricut mug press in a on a heat resistant surface. So for a while I was using just putting it on this mat, and it was doing fine. And then one day, after like a whole bunch of mugs, I noticed it started to warp a little bit. And I looked it up, and while, you know, these self-healing mats are usually heat resistant, and this one definitely is, after a while, it definitely will break down the bonds. So keep that in mind if you're using the same mat as me. If you have one of these, this actually serves many purposes. It lets you put your Cricut mug press on it without worrying about whether you're getting anything too hot. It serves as a place for your mug to cool, and it lets you move it around. Because if you're anything like me, you don't have enough space and you're constantly moving things so that you can work, right? Okay, so we're going to set our mug press here. And I'm going to switch to my view and make sure that we can see that. There we go. Okay, not quite. I want you to be able to have a nice, great view of this. Okay, here we go. All right, so it has just one button. This is the power button, and that's it. There's no settings for pressure or temperature, which is a lot different if you're used to another kind of mug press, right? It is like the best thing about this. I swear it totally is. So it takes the temperature of your mug and your room, and it determines the settings for you. I swear that's my favorite part. So we're going to turn it on right here, and it's going to heat up. It takes about 4 minutes to heat up. It's orange when it's heating up, and it'll beep at us when it's done heating up. So it's super easy. And I'm positioning it kind of back on my mat like this, because I'll be able to use this to let my mugs cool. So it's like really useful. And again, I can just move it around. So, all right, so that's warming up. Now we need to get our mug, our design onto our mug. So I'm going to switch to my overhead view so you could watch me do this. That's close enough. We'll move this out of the way. In fact, so you can see better. Okay, so the way I like to do it is I put my mug in front of me just like this with the handle facing towards me, and I get my design, which is right here, and I position it on let it sit on my mat like this, and I attempt to eyeball it so that it's centered. The nice thing is that it doesn't have to be perfect, because I can adjust it. In fact, let me make sure that's perfectly right in front of me. There we go. Because I can adjust it like this, right? So, but you know, I look to see if there's about the same amount on either side, and then I just wrap it around like this. And you want it to be nice and tight, just like this. Oh, I forgot. I almost forgot, sorry. This happens when I'm talking and not paying attention to what I'm doing. Okay, we want to clean our mug. Yeah, so lint roller. So we just use a lint roller like this, and we just clean it like that. No big deal. We're just trying to get like dust off, because if there's dust on it, dirt, whatever, hair even, like if you have a dog or cat, like I have two dogs, there's hair everywhere, I swear. But if you get it on there, it can attempt to, sometimes it'll burn it in a little bit, and you'll have like a little speck that you don't want. We don't want little specks. We want it to be beautiful. All right, so that's all that does. All right, so I'm positioning it behind it. I'm getting it about centered and straight, and then I'm going to wrap it around. Oops, my little thing is moving. If you have that problem, oops, let me do this. And I'm going to just take my lint roller, and I'm just going to put it right here, and then like this, so that it doesn't want to move around on me so much. So lint rollers are actually very useful because they have that sticky side. All right, and then wrap it around, and again, you want it to be nice and tight, which is actually really easy with this design. That's why we started with this design. And then here is our mug, and there is our design on it. See how easy that is? So you can see the I love you, Mom, there. And it's all wrapped around, and you just press down on the the liner, the sticky liner, right? Because it's sticky. And press here. And that is good to go. Isn't that awesome? All right, let me pause while the Cricut Mug Press is warming up and answer some questions. Okay. Joy says, can you use alcohol to clean your mug? I wouldn't, because I don't know how the alcohol will react with the infusible ink, or if you're doing print sublimation, which I'm not experienced with, I don't know how it would react. So we're just going to use a lint roller. Right. And Barbara says, can you use any Cricut Infusible ink product? You sure can. You can, of course, they have the little boxes, which make it easy. But let's see if I can reach one of them. You can totally use the big boxes. I'm sure that you've got some. Here we go, the big boxes here. And you can use the pens and the markers. So like here are some of the pens here, right? So you can use all of the Infusible ink products. Okay. I need some more space here. Alrighty. Okay, so, and Mary says, how many mugs can you do with the ink? Just like regular infusible ink, this is a one press thing. You can attempt to press it again. You will find it doesn't, the ink transfers completely from your design onto your mug. It is super vibrant. This is my first mug. I mean, look at how much ink is on this, which of course is amazing. So, and by that just beeped. Okay, so the Cricut Mug Press is now warmed up and we're ready for our design. Okay, so yeah, it transfers all of the ink from your design onto your mug. So you're not gonna have anything left over, and you don't want it either. You want all of it onto your mug, right? Okay, so let's slide our Mug Press over. The light is still green now. Can you see that? Kind of, it's green. It is cool. So this is probably like 360 degrees in there. This, you can't tell. I literally can't tell this is on right now. It is definitely on though. Okay, so all we do is we take our mug that we have wrapped with our infusible ink. We put it into the heating chamber. I don't know if that's the technical word for it, but that's what I'm going to use. You want to look at your handle. I'm doing this kind of over here. There we go. I always kind of put my handle a little bit off to the left like that, because I find it, when I bring down the push down on the lever, I don't know what the technical term for this is, we'll call the lever. You want it to fully cover your design. Okay, so I'm going to angle this just a little bit so you can see. So right now you can't even see the design, but it's also a really light color. So if we move this handle just a little bit to the left, you'll watch as I push down on this. There we go. And then we just check to make sure that it is covering our design, which it certainly seems to be. And that is it. We don't have to worry about anything else. The Cricut Mug Press is going to do all the work for us. We don't have to worry about the temperature. It figured that out for us. We don't have to worry about the pressure. It figures that out for us. We don't have to worry about how long it's going to do it or anything. There are LED lights here at the top. I don't know if I'm supposed to be moving this, but it's so light. It's such you see one of those blinking there, and it'll count down for you at the top so you know that it's working, I guess, if we need to know that, but it'll beep at us when it's done. And that's basically it. Like, it's super easy. If you've ever been intimidated by those big heat presses, those big mug presses, like, this is the solution, because this is so cool. And in fact, I want to show you. I did show this in my little video, but I'm going to show you again. So that I could accurately just talk about this and describe it, I went and bought myself one of the mug presses that's on Amazon that's well rated. I actually have a whole video about this that you'll see later. So that I understood what the mug press was about, and so that I could use it, so I could actually compare it intelligently and not just be like, oh, everything Cricut does is amazing and I don't even need to look at anything else. I know that probably there's lots of people like that, but that's not what you need from me. So I got a mug press and I tried it, and I want to show you what my very first mug looked like from it. Okay, you ready for this? I think it's right here. Yes, this is my first traditional mug press project. I've labeled it on the bottom. There we go. Traditional mug press. This is what it looked like when I did it for my very first time on that mug press. Why? And as you can see, this doesn't look so good. We've got this weird shading here on the back, the other side of my test. It's kind of like a watercolor. I mean, it's not quite so bad here, but it's not vibrant at all. And here it's just sort of like really ugly. So what happened? Honestly, I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't press it for long enough. I also don't think I had it hot enough. So this is completely my fault. And those of you who have mug presses will tell me that. I know you'll tell me that in my videos and the emails, and it's okay. I own up to my mistake. But the point here is I didn't know what I was supposed to do, and I followed the directions that came with the mug press, and this is how it turned out. Let me show you, however, what happened when I did the same mug on my Cricut Mug Press. So the exact same mug and the same design. It is right here. So this is the Cricut Mug Press, and this is the traditional one. Okay, again, I didn't press it right, so there's that. But this is beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful, right? Look at this, right? So if you're anything like me and just don't want to figure everything out and you just want to make the thing and move on, this is the Cricut Mug Press is amazing. So, and I have a video that will go into in depth so that you can actually see what I did and all my settings and where I failed. And again, this is my very first mug that I made on the Cricut Mug Press. I did this during my training with Cricut because they did a little Zoom and they taught us how to use it very briefly, I might add. And that is, they're not spending anywhere near so long as I did. But I'm still grateful that they showed us. But this is my first one, complete beginner, just trying to follow everyone's directions. And it's just so, so pretty, right? I love this mug. All right, so we are on our third LED right now. And I can switch to the overhead so you can see. I want you to see what this looks like inside. So there it is. Kind of see the lights maybe right here. There's one that's not lit up. And again, this is cool. This is not hot. This is like a super safe. I love this about it because not only is it cool, so I'm not going to burn myself on it, but also it has an auto shut off safety feature. So if I forget to turn it off, it's going to turn off on its own. It's actually going to beep for me to remind me that it's going to turn itself off in case I want to keep it on. That traditional mug press that I bought from Amazon did not do that. Did not. So if for nothing else, I love this about it. And probably there's other models of them that do that. I don't know. Okay, so we must be getting really close, and I want you to see what we do when it comes out. And then we're gonna need to let it cool for a while, so I'm gonna have lots of time to answer questions. So don't worry, I'm not going to. I just want to make sure that we get this out and can get it cooled, and then I can answer questions and I can show you. I'm going to show you my mugs so you can see what they look like and all of that fun stuff. Sherry says, if you don't get the mug in the right position, can you stop it and adjust it? You totally can, and I've done it. You just put it in there and you check it, and if it doesn't look right, you just lift it up, move it, put it down. That's it. So no big deal. Yes, you absolutely can adjust it. Karen says, are you going to use heat-resistant gloves to remove it? No. This, I'm going to make sure I touch the right thing, is still cool. The handle is still cool. I don't have to use any gloves to remove it. I don't know how they do that, but it is. So I don't know, maybe it's the way it's wrapping around, I'm not sure. Something else that's really cool is that I think it's heating it differently than traditional mug presses because it's got this heating plate, which is patented. And then there's a plate at the bottom. And that's really significant because let's take a look at the traditional mug press one I make. Note how, oh, it beeped. We'll talk about that later. Okay. It is now ready. The light is, they're blinking up here. So all we do is lift up here and we grab our, being careful not to touch the mug, which is of course hot, and we just set it down right here and let it cool. How awesome is that? Like seriously, that's all there is to it. Now we can go ahead and put another mug in, or we can turn it off, or we can let it turn itself off. And by keeping it on this mat, we're not hurting any of our surfaces because this is very hot. Don't touch that, it's very hot. And we're gonna let it cool for at least 15 minutes. We'll see. If you hold your hand over it, you can feel the heat on it. And this, however, is not hot at all. All of this is totally cool. all of this is totally cool. It's super awesome. All right, so yeah, so the inside, let me show you now that it's out. See that that silver plate there? That heats the bottom as well. It doesn't get as hot, I don't think. But when we compare it to the traditional mug press, one that doesn't heat the bottom, right? So again, I didn't heat this for long enough or hot enough, I think. I don't know. Something happens. So you can see how it's dark at the top and super light at the bottom. So if you think about a mug, it is hollow up here. So if we heat only the sides, it's going to get hotter up here quicker because there's nothing to like make it harder to heat here. But if you, on the bottom, there's all this ceramic here. So heating it here is going to take longer. It's not going to heat up at a consistent rate and transfer your image consistently. So by putting that plate in the bottom of the Cricut Mug Press, we don't have this problem. Again, you know, if we just overheat it, it's probably fine, but you know, because people make mugs on their mug presses all the time, and I know I messed it up, so, and it was not on purpose or anything. I literally was reading the directions on how to do that. Okay, let's see. So we are waiting for this to cool down. So what I'm going to do is show you mugs and answer questions. Okay, let's scroll up a little bit. Okay, Nancy, in fact, I'm going to show you mugs as you ask me questions. Nancy says, can you layer colors? You totally can. Let me show you some of my layered ones. This is a bunny. Isn't this cute? So this is yellow and pink. And there's Alexa on the back. And here's, I also made one that was all pink. But I decided it didn't look as good for you because you couldn't see it as well. So she actually has two now. And they're cute. Super cute for our spring. And I'll put them back here. And here's another one. And these patterns, these designs are all available to use for free. So this one says Greg, and it says, you still give me butterflies, which is totally true. He's sitting over there. So this is, so you can totally layer colors, but there's a technique to it, and I will be showing you how. We've recorded the video for it, and it's being edited, so that will probably be available this weekend. So you can learn all about how to make super cute layered designs like this. Aren't they cute? Another way that you can use multiple colors is, let me put these all back here, is to use the pens. So this is one of our mandala mugs. We have a whole set of these. Again, they'll be free for you to design with. So this is made with the pen or the marker. This is the marker, and this was made by the Cricut. So it drew this, and then we transferred it. We just used different marker colors. So this is the marker side, and I also did a pen side, which is more delicate. So whatever you like, bold or delicate, you can you get to decide. So that's another way to use multiple colors. And then this mug here, this is my freehand mug. So of course you could just use the markers to create a design and put it on there. So like you could have your kid draw you a picture and you could put it onto your mug. That would be really fun. But I've created a tutorial for monograms, and this is my dot design mug, and all you do is you just put your monogram or your shape or your symbol or whatever you want, and then you fill in the dots freehand, and I show you exactly how to do that. So here's J and here's M, and these are super fun and cool, and this is a great project that any age could do. It's just dots on paper when you have the template. So there's lots of ways. Oh, here's another multicolor one, the hedgehog with stars and a flower. Yeah, so lots of ways to do multicolor, absolutely. Trudy says you can use the smaller mugs as long as they're straight. That is correct. They just need to be straight walls, right? Because this is the mug press is a straight wall mug press. Okay, and I don't actually know how long it's been. We're totally going to guess. We're going to go by temperature, and it's not time yet. Okay, I'm scrolling down, looking for more questions. Lily says, can you tape down pieces of infusible ink with heat-resistant tape? You sure can, Lily. Where's my tape? I put my tape in a dispenser, and several of my tutorials actually show you how to do that. So yes, if you, let's say, wanted to conserve, let me find a good example. Here we go. if you wanted to conserve your infusible ink and just cut out the decal, so just this rectangle, you didn't want to do the whole wrap thing, which is totally cool, you could just, first of all, you probably wouldn't even need the tape because the liner is sticky. But let's say you did, or you, whatever, you were cutting it out and it was really small because you really wanted to conserve your infusible ink. You would just tape it down with heat-resistant tape. This is the Cricut brand. You want to use heat-resistant tape, not anything else, because the adhesive would melt and make a huge mess. So make sure you're using the heat-resistant tape. All right, so many mugs. I have made many, many mugs. Need to rearrange things a little bit here. All right. Looking for more questions. Feel free to throw those questions out. Pam says, what's the temperature of the mug press? So I asked Greg to let me borrow his infrared thermometer, and I measured it, and I measured 365 to 370 degrees Fahrenheit, which is interesting because when I went looking for how to use the mug press, the traditional one, after I failed at it terribly, I saw a higher temperature. So I think that they're using lower temperatures, but doing it for a little longer, and that results in this beautiful, beautiful thing. It really is. I'm gonna try to get that in a little closer. Actually, let's go to the overhead so you can see how, I mean, it's just so pretty. I'm just in love with it. It's just so shiny. It's like, it is better. It's like better than screen printing because it's like, it's just like infused into the surface. And it's just so good. And here's the other side. These designs are, of course, going to be in our library. They're not there yet because it's been a busy morning, but they will be there soon. So we have a whole bunch of them. They're very cool. And these are hand lettered, by the way. So don't ask me what the font is because the font is human. It's human font. So yeah, it's just so, this is the red one. Here is the one that I did in my tutorial video that you'll see later. I mean, it's so pretty. I just really, really like it. All right, more questions. Let's see here. I'm scrolling up now because I can see. Debbie says, can you use prints from a sublimation printer? I don't have a sublimation printer and I haven't tried it myself, but I know someone who did and it looked awesome. So after I go through all of my tutorials to show you all of these things, wow, my desk is a huge mess now. To show you all of these things, I am going to get a sublimation ink printer because so many of you have asked me how it works, and so I want to learn it, and then I'm going to try it out. But yes, the answer is yes. Okay, Julie says, can you apply your own polycoat to any mug? I haven't tried it. I don't know. I did buy some to test with, but I haven't had any time to test it. So I'm planning to do that next week as well. Once the mug press is out and we can just like, you know, do more stuff with it, I was going to try. So I got some to try. I worry that it won't be as consistent because we have to like apply it ourselves with like a brush, I think. It's like a liquid, the stuff that I got. So I don't know, but it'll be fun to test and find out. But I mean, technically I think you can. I just don't know if the quality will be there, right? Heather says, will the mugs be dishwasher safe after pressing? Yes, they will. That is one of my favorite things about these. I need to clean up and take a drink. Hang on a second. As soon as this mug is done, and you know, I mean, honestly, immediately, as soon as we can touch it, right? We can, if we really want to put something in it, we might want to wash it first, but it's ready to go. There's no curing. There's no, you know, like with vinyl, you need to let it cure before you even attempt to dishwash it. And you cannot microwave vinyl. So this is dishwasher and microwave safe right away, which is really cool. Really, really cool. Okay. And I just need to straighten it up because this is bugging me. So many things. I liked it when it was all arranged and all pretty. It's close. I have a lot of mugs here. You see all my mugs? I put some, oh, there's one. There's some over there too. I even have more. The ones that I made mugs for Greg and Alexa on Valentine's Day. because I didn't think we were giving gifts. I thought I was baking them cookies. That was my gift. And then Greg gave me all these flowers and things. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I snuck in my craft room and I made both of them mugs on the Cricut Mug Press. And it was like, it took me a half an hour to design it, cut it, weed it, and make it, and put it into their boxes. And I was super impressed with myself. They still totally saw through it. They're like, you just made these, didn't you? I'm like, yeah, but aren't they awesome? Yeah, so lots of mugs here. Okay. More questions. Deborah says, will you be able to pre-order one? I don't actually know the answer to that. I don't think so. I think that you can't order them until March 11th. And I don't know what time. Maybe it's at midnight, maybe not. I'm going to try to find out for you. But I don't think there's any pre-orders. I think that you just go to the Cricut shop, or Michael's, or Hobby Lobby, or Joann's, or Walmart, or Target, or Amazon. Those are the places I know of that will be selling them on March 11th, which is 1 week from today. Carol says, can you do a personal photo of families, etc.? I know of 3 ways to do it. One, of course, would be to have a sublimation printer. So you could just actually print it out and put it onto your mug. And so when I get my printer and figure that out for you, I'll show you how to do that. The second way is to convert your photo to a line drawing, like we would, let me say we convert our pets' photos to SVGs, that kind of thing. So it's the shapes, the shadows, so it creates. Do I have one over here? I don't think so. But so you could do that in Design Space. We're actually working on a tutorial for that so that you can know how to do that as well. It won't look like a photograph, but it'll totally look like your family member or your pet. And then you can weed it, cut it and weed it in Infusible Ink and put it onto your mug. It's beeping to tell me it's going to auto shut off. We're going to just let it shut off. The third way you can do it actually comes from my daughter, who, when I told her about the mug press, because I couldn't keep it secret from her. I had to keep it secret from everybody else, but I couldn't keep it secret from her or Greg. She's like, oh my gosh, that would be so cool if you use the markers and create dots like a photograph that you've seen in a newspaper or a book, if anyone is familiar with that style of like where they make the little dots and then they overlap to create the image. So she actually went online and converted a photo of a parrot. I wish I could show this to you, but it's up in her room right now. She converted a photo of a parrot into the dots, and we had the marker do all the dots in yellow and blue and red and black, right? CMYK for anyone who knows what I'm talking about. And it totally looked like a parrot. It did take a long time, but it totally did. So so that's another way you could do it. Probably not the best way, definitely an artistic way, but it was really cool. So yeah, that's how you would want to do that if you really wanted to. So there's 3 different ways. Alrighty, and let me just check on something. My team says they hear background noise. Do you still hear it? I don't hear anything. My room is really super quiet. Let me know in the chat with me if you can hear any background noise. Not everybody else, just my team. Trudy says, will you have a coupon code? I have a coupon code right now. It doesn't work, however, on machines. So if you want to save on the Cricut Mug Press itself, you're going to want to be a Cricut Access member, even if it's just for 1 month. Okay? If you want to learn about Cricut Access, I have a little link here. Got to find it. Is it this one? Go to this link. It tells you what Cricut Access is, how to get it, how much it costs, why it's cool, or why you might not want it. Lots of, pros and cons. So go there because that's going to save you the most money on getting the Cricut Mug Press. I do have a discount, and let me bring up that one, which is this one, jennifermaker.com/Cricut discount. It is good for 10% off supplies and materials, but it doesn't work on anything with a cord, right? So it doesn't work on a Cricut, it doesn't work on a mug press, it doesn't work on like an easy press, right? So, but if you're buying other stuff, it totally is awesome. Okay, so my discount code changes all the time. Right now, it is Maker Fun, but it's constantly changing. So if you just remember jennifermaker.com/Cricut discount, you'll always have whatever my recent discount code is. And okay, my team tells me they don't hear my background noise now. Who knows? I'm just in my house. We actually have people coming over very shortly to look at our basement. So, you know, I don't even know. Our dogs are not, however, in the room. But, you know, it's not like I'm in my studio right now. Okay, Laura says, would you have to mirror your image? Yes. If you probably didn't see me do the whole Cricut Design Space part, so if you want to like watch it later, like from the beginning, but yes, you want to mirror any infusible ink project you do because the ink goes against your project, right? Oh, this feels like it's cooled off now. I'm too busy talking, so I'll do that in just a minute. So yes, always mirror your infusible ink projects. Amy says, can you add something to the bottom of the mug like a logo? You know, I was thinking about that. It will not get, so on the Cricut ones, there's a logo, so you're not going to be able to do that. Also, it doesn't get hot enough down there to actually infuse the ink. You would have to use some other method, maybe. I don't know what that would be. I don't know of any mug press that does that. So maybe there is one, but I don't know what it is. So the answer would be no, unless someone figures it out. All right. Let's see here. Simone says, do they have to be sealed or are they ready to drink from? They are ready to drink from. You do not have to seal these mugs. Let me just show you real quick so you can see. This is the surface of the mug. There's nothing on here. It's not like a layer of vinyl, right? This is totally smooth. You see the reflection here? It actually just goes into the surface of the mug. So there's nothing to seal. It is nothing to seal. So I would wash it still because I mean, it's been in a dusty box. You know, I see a little flower in there or star. But yeah, you could drink out of it right away. You don't have to seal it. You can dishwash it right away and you can microwave it right away. Alrighty. I think it's time for us to do our reveal on our mug. Alright. So here is our mug. I mean, it's still a little warm, but I think it's good enough. Alright, so, alright, ready? To see what it looks like? So you just peel off the liner, just like this. Now remember, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I used the watercolor one, so this is supposed to be like this. Wow, this is super pretty. I haven't used this one before. And then it comes right off on the other side. So you can see that all of the ink has transferred. There's nothing left there, so you wouldn't be reusing this. So here is our beautiful mug. Oops, there's a little flower stuck there and a little one stuck there. And the variable look is supposed to be like that. So, and I will compare it to the others because I don't want anyone to think that it didn't do a solid job. So here is what it would look like if it was solid. Top to bottom, the same color. So this is a watercolor design. It is so pretty. And I love that. I could have done it any way I wanted. It was completely my choice what to put on here. That's what I love about this. That's what I love about crafting. I get to do it any way I want. So yeah, so there we go. Super easy. I'm totally in love with these mugs. That's why I made so many. I just keep making them. All right, any last questions before I wrap up? So again, I have a full tutorial that shows you from start to finish how to unboxing your Cricut Mug Press, setting it up, connecting it, like actually going through the steps together so that you feel confident, and then creating a design with your own name. And I show the same things. I show you how to curve and slice and everything that we did earlier today, and how to wrap it around your mug, and how to clean it and press it and cool it and all of that. So if you missed any of this, there's a tutorial that won't take, what are we at now? An hour? Yeah, we're over an hour now. It's much shorter, but still in depth. Because whenever I do a live video, it always just seems to take a long time. It's probably because of all the questions. And then this is our liner, which is, the ink is all gone, so we just discard this and all of the little bits that we weeded. I'll put those over there. And then we have all of these awesome mugs. Okay. All right. Let's see. Charm says, can we use iron-on vinyl with a carrier sheet? So Cricut says not to do it, and the reason that they give is that, and this probably makes sense, and I've never done this, so I don't even know, that the adhesive from the vinyl can get onto your heat plate and mess it up. So I wouldn't do it. I personally not sure why people actually put heat transfer vinyl onto mugs, because it's not a permeable surface, so it seems odd. I actually did a test of this in my vinyl mug video from a couple of years ago that we have used a lot over the years, and it was kind of a fail because you could actually see the adhesive like around the edges of the vinyl, and also, like, yeah, I didn't like the way it looked. Maybe it's just me. I also tried it on a tumbler once and I got the same results. So the official answer is no. You guys can do whatever you want. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I don't think it would work well. Okay, I'm scrolling up through questions that my team sent me. I don't want to miss your questions. I got that one. Adjusting it, yep. Are you using heat-resistant gloves? No heat-resistant gloves are needed, but you do want to use this mat here just to protect whatever is underneath. It doesn't really get that hot, but you know, that's what Cricut says to do. You can layer colors. Let's see. Does this need to be used in a well-ventilated area? Totally. I have my window open and there's a fan going. That's probably the background noise that you were hearing earlier. It makes different variable noises. So you want to use this where there's ventilation. That said, and also the first time you turn it on, you might notice it smells funny, but after that it dissipates. I don't smell anything in here anymore. But yes, we're using infusible ink, right? And it's chemical. So you're not going to want to do it in some little tiny room where there's no circulation. It's bad for you. I don't know how bad it is for you, but Cricut says to use do it in a well-ventilated area. And I would totally agree with that. Julia says, can you cut on the Joy? Absolutely. You can cut your infusible ink on the Joy, the Maker, or your Explorer. All of them. I cut on all of them and they do awesome. Can you use prints from a Sublimation Printer? Yes, you can. Corinna says, can you use mugs without handles? I imagine you can, but you'd have to have a way to get them out, right? So, and I imagine you can just do that with, oh, my dog's making noises, sorry. Chloe, no. She buys an S, which is our word for, I can't even say the word because she'll start barking, but you know, the little things with the big bushy tails, right? She loves them. All right, so yeah, what was I saying? I totally forgot. I got distracted by them too. What was the question? Oh yes, mugs without handles. I imagine that you could. I can't think of any reason why you couldn't, but you probably didn't have to have a really good, well-insulated oven mitt or one of those silicone ones or something to protect your hand, because you need to reach in here and grab it and pull it out after you lifted up your clamp, and you wouldn't want to burn yourself. But other than that, I can't think of a reason why not. So just for safety reasons, that would be the only reason why not. But if you can find a way around that and stay safe, it seems like it would be fine. And yes, Heather, they are dishwasher and microwave safe. And Melissa says, can just mugs or can you put tumblers in as well? Is the diameter set or can you do skinny mugs? So the diameter, I'm trying to remember, it does close. It does change. Let me show you. My close one. So this does slide in, right? So it does change to like squeeze it, to bring it in. But there's still a limitation. It's probably not going to fit anything really skinny, right? And also if it extends above the top, right? So if it's taller. That said, if you want to just put your decal on the center of the mug, it would be fine, right? So in fact, I'm planning to experiment with that later on. See what we can do with it and do regular things, do awesome things. Okay, I think I've gotten through most of the questions. I apologize if you hear my dog barking. I think the basement people are here now. All right, let's see. Can you make your own designs for the mug? Yes, Brianna, you totally can. You can use Design Space to make whatever design you want, really. There are mug designs in, you know something? I need to let my dog out. I'm going to switch my cam because someone is here. So the dogs are going to go nuts. So give me just a second. And I'm going to switch to this so you can admire the beautiful mugs. Let's put them here. And I will be right back. Come here, Chloe. Let's go inside. There we go. good time to get a drink anyways, right? Okay. Yes, so you can make your own designs in Cricut Design Space. So these that you see here didn't look like this when I started. It had just the stars on the edge. I added Alexa. And this one had just the flowers, and I added the I love you mom on it. And you can design whatever you want. That is the cool thing about this. You're not limited to whatever you find at the store. You can do whatever you want. All right, I think I have gotten through most of the questions that I was sent. Oh, there's another question here. Kay says, can you add something to it after you have already done it? You can. I generally don't recommend it. I prefer that to layer before I press because we get the most vibrant color that way. Because when we press a second time, sometimes it changes the color a little bit. And especially if you only press a part of it, which isn't going to be true of this, right? If you only press a part of it, then you'll notice a difference. So sorry about my dogs. Sorry, there's people in our house and they're super excited. So yeah, so if you I recommend one press, but you still can do a whole press. You just might notice it change a little bit. I think that when it heats up again, it changes it changes again because you're heating it for another 5 to 6 minutes. So yeah, but you can. Yeah, you totally can. It just looks better if you don't the first time. And I am going to teach you how to do that in my tutorial on how to make the multicolor mugs like this one and like this one. So I'm going to show you how you can do it so you don't have to press it a second time, because that's better, right? It's faster, more efficient. Chrissy says, what different materials can you use to transfer the design on the mug in the machine? So you can use infusible ink, which is what we have here. So the transfer sheets, the big ones, you can see them over here. So you can use the big ones or the ones that are the mug sized, whichever one you want. And you can, layer them. Like I said, you can use the pens, and here's some pens right here, and markers. They come in different sizes and different colors to make, you can have your Cricut draw designs for you. So here's one. I have another one. That one over there was drawn on the Cricut, and so is this one. And you can use the markers freehand to just draw what you want. So if you are artistically inclined, you can make your own pictures freehand, or you can use things like this template to make monograms or symbols or whatever you want. So you can use, and then of course you can use print sublimation if you have a sublimation printer, which I don't yet. So I can't really advise you on that because I know what it is. I know how it works. I just don't actually have one myself. So infusible ink transfer sheets, infusible ink pens and markers, and print sublimation. It has to be on special paper with special ink. Nothing, you're not going to be able to use just regular inkjet ink or anything like that. So those are your 3 options. Don't use regular markers or pens. Those will not transfer. Or if they do, they'll be super weird. And don't use vinyl. Paper won't do anything either. So you want infusible ink or sublimation ink. Those are your 2 choices. And I think that's it. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. I have a whole tutorial on how to do this that goes into more depth on all of the things that you've been asking me about. And so I'm going to finish this video. I'm going to hop over to get that released, so it'll show up on YouTube and it'll show up on my Facebook page. So you're welcome to watch that. I highly recommend you do that. And then tomorrow is my plan. I have a whole video on that compares all the different ways to make an infusible ink mug. So that is the Cricut Mug Press, a traditional clamshell mug press that I got off Amazon, the one that made that one that I showed you earlier, a silicone wrap, and a convection oven, and a heat gun. Those are the 4 ways that I know, and I'll be showing you how I did those, and I'm going to compare them so that you can see for yourself how they work and decide what's right for you. So that video will be tomorrow, and then we're going to, and I will be also in that video showing you how to do these really pretty hand lettered mugs. So like that one, and like this one, Coffee, Create, Repeat, and Coffee is a Hug and a Mug. We have a bunch of awesome, beautiful hand-lettered designs. And then over the weekend, I'm going to show you how to do the multicolored layered mugs, like this bunny here and the elephant. So that will be on sometime this weekend. And then we have 3 more tutorials coming after that. One is on the pretty mandala mug, and there's other designs as well as mandalas. It's not just that, but it's a how to use your Cricut pen or marker in your machine to draw out your image and then press it onto your mug. The technique is a little different, but mostly just because you want to, the paper that you put it on, and then you want to have some butcher paper to protect it because it'll bleed through a little bit. And then how to do this monogram mug with a freehand pen or marker. And again, this is an awesome project for doing with a family member who isn't crafty, because it's really simple to do. Like little kids could do it, older people could do it, everybody. And then we're going to make gift boxes for you. Like I said, the 15-ounce Cricut mugs come in a box that you could decorate. The 12-ounce mugs do not. So we are designing boxes that you can cut out of like pretty holographic foil craft board. You can cut that on your Explorer and your Maker to make gorgeous mug boxes for your gifts. So yeah, I'm excited. I mean, this is super cool. I've had this for a while and I couldn't say anything about it. And it's always hard for me because I don't keep secrets very well. I always just want to always share everything. I am totally an oversharer. And so I'm really excited that we're finally able to talk about it. And I can show you how to make these really cool mugs. Alrighty, I think that we have come to the end. So please watch my other videos. Check out, and all of the videos and all the designs will be linked on to this page right here. So jennifermaker.com/Cricut Mug Press. You will find, and that's where I'm keeping all of the answers to all of your questions. They're all there. The links to my videos are there. How to find, get the password to my free library. Everything is there. So be sure to check that out. So you can get all of the details on this, and I will, of course, as always, keep it up to date with whatever information I learn or whatever questions you ask me. We will put them in there so that you have a resource to go to for your questions. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really, truly appreciate it. And thank you so much to my team who is helping us. And this is the first time we've ever tried streaming live to YouTube. I don't know if it's working. I'm hoping it's working right now. If it is, hello to everyone on YouTube. Thank you very much to everybody who helped me make this video today and helped us just make all of these awesome things for you. My team is the best. I am so grateful to them. All right, and our designs will come online in my library over the coming week. Probably as I introduce each tutorial, I'll put the designs in the library. I'm also converting some of our older awesome designs so that they work on the mugs so that you can just download them and put them in and cut them and go, because I know that's really easy to do. Alrighty, thank you all so much. I hope that you enjoyed looking at the Cricut Mug Press and are as excited as me about its potential to create amazing mugs and last minute gifts, because I'm totally a last minute person. Have a great day, everybody, and I will see you later. Bye.